They called him a bastard. Worthless, nothing. But when the world was ending, they all looked to him. This is the story of how the boy nobody wanted became the leader everyone needed, and why his secret might be the key to unlocking your own greatness. Picture this. You're standing on a 700-foot wall of ice. The wind cuts through you like a blade. Below you lies everything you've ever loved. And behind you, an army of the dead. Most people would run. Most people would break. But not Jon Snow. Because Jon Snow understood something that 99% of leaders never figure out. Real power isn't taken. It's earned. One choice at a time. Jon Snow was born into rejection. The bastard son, the one who didn't belong. The runt of the litter, they called him. Sound familiar? While his brothers got castles, he got the cold shoulder. While they got inheritance, he got whispers and rumors. While they got respect, he got nothing. But here's what they didn't see coming. That rejection, it was his superpower. Because when you have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. When nobody expects anything from you, every victory is a shock. When the world counts you out, that's when you count yourself in. Jon didn't waste time blaming Ned Stark. He didn't hate his siblings. He didn't drown himself in excuses. He took that pain, that feeling of being unwanted, and he forged it into unbreakable steel. Night gathers, and now my watch begins. He spoke those words as an oath, but he lived them as a reminder. When the world forgets you, you build something bigger than your name. The Night's Watch didn't want him either. It was a place for thieves and cowards, men with broken pasts, perfect. Because broken men understand what whole men never will. Your past doesn't define your future. Your bloodline doesn't decide your worth. And your circumstances don't control your choices. Remember that scene. Jon at Castle Black, out training every recruit. He could have mocked them, shown off. Instead, he taught them to fight. He turned rivals into brothers. Real leaders don't need titles to lead. They don't wait for permission to serve. They don't beg for recognition to do what's right. When you show up to work, to your team, to your family, you don't need a crown to lead. You don't need a title to do what needs to be done. Jon Snow became Lord Commander not because he campaigned for it, but because when the votes were cast, every man asked, "Who would I trust with my life?" And here's the irony. The man who never wanted power is the one power chased. Why? Because when Jon crossed the wall to make peace with the wildlings, they saw a leader who risked his life for enemies. When he rode north of the wall to Hardhome and fought side by side with people the Night's Watch hated, they saw a king who didn't fight for a crown. He fought for everyone. When he bent the knee to Daenerys, not for ego, but to protect the North, even the people who hated him respected him more. He never asked for loyalty. He earned it. That's the lesson. You don't win crowns by begging for them. You win trust by standing when no one else will. But integrity has a price. When the wildlings, his enemies for centuries, were dying, he could have let them die. It would have been easy. It would have been popular. Instead, he opened the gate. He did what was right, not what was safe. And for that, his own men, his brothers, stabbed him in the heart. For the Watch. You know this scene. You felt that silence, betrayal by the ones he protected. But true leaders, real ones, don't quit at betrayal. Even when death comes, their mission doesn't. When Melisandre brought him back, it wasn't just fantasy. It was a lesson. Purpose survives pain. Integrity survives betrayal. You survive when your stand is bigger than your comfort. When Jon faced Ramsay Bolton, alone, outnumbered, sword in hand, he charged anyway, one man against an army, because he'd rather stand for something than kneel for nothing. Where's your battlefield? It's not Winterfell. It's your office, your team, your kitchen table. It's that conversation you keep putting off, the truth you've been too scared to tell. That's your sword moment. Then came the final test, the Iron Throne. The seat of ultimate power, the crown everyone else killed for. He could have sat on it, taken it, justified it. But Jon Snow knew what most people never learn. True power isn't what you can claim, it's what you choose to give up. The man who passes the sentence should swing the sword. He learned that from Ned, and he lived it to the end. And so do you. You have a throne in your life, a shortcut, a title, a corner you could cut. But here's your choice. Chase the crown or build the trust. Grab the glory or stand for what's right when it costs you everything. You want to be unstoppable? Then choose integrity when it's expensive. Choose courage when it's unpopular. Choose the mission over your comfort. So here's my challenge to you, your Jon Snow moment. Stop waiting for permission to lead. Stop waiting for the safe path. Stop hoping someone else fixes what you know you can fix. In your work, be the one who helps the weak. Be the one who trains the next. Be the one who protects the outcast. In your relationships, be the one who forgives first. Be the one who doesn't keep score. Be the one who shows up when it's inconvenient. In your community, be the one who swings the sword. Be the one who stands for those who can't stand alone. The world doesn't need another throne chaser, another title hunter, another noisemaker. The world needs you, the real you, the you that says, I know nothing, but I will stand for something. Jon Snow never wanted to be king, but he became something more. He became the leader the world needed, and so can you. If this message found you, hit like. Subscribe if you're ready to lead quietly but powerfully. And tell me in the comments, what's your Jon Snow moment? What stand do you need to take? Because they called him a bastard, a mistake, nothing. But when it mattered most, he was everything. And so can you be.